Alrighty, hello everybody. I believe that should start up the stream. Uh, yes, I'd almost forgotten. Tervetuloa kaikille. Tämä on XComp Wiz. That was hard to switch to. I was supposed to greet everybody in Finnish. I forgot. I won't carry out the stream in Finnish because my Finnish is nowhere near that good.
Are you finished?
For a moment there, I thought you were trying to start the stream in Elvish. I mean, Lord of the Rings does come out, The Hobbit does come out in a couple days here.
Yeah, that's actually, that is the thing, that Finnish is the root language for Tolkien's Elvish. So, they're going to sound the same.
Yeah, that's true. I feel nerdy for knowing this now. But I've never denied that I am a Tolkien nerd.
I'm going to hope that people can the chat confirm to me that you can see what's going on, because okay, there we go. Now XSplit has caught up and is telling me there are people watching. It's still not sure how many, but it tells me there are people watching. Okay, you can see a wizard. Excellent. That is me. Well, that's at least my avatar. Okie dokie. Let's switch over to the Minecraft instance here. I didn't actually prepare anything for you. I'm just kind of planning to show things. Goody. Let's get back out and run some scripts. Alright. Magic! And also in the stream with me today is Morvalaya. I said that in Finnish, I don't know why. And
sure.
It's like that didn't quite work. Lyra is with me today in chat. And Shadow is with me as well, so hello to both of them.
Hey, what's up? PG stream, right?
PG stream, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
It still didn't... What's going on with the textures? This is good. It's the demo effect. Still won't... There we go. That's better. Alrighty, well... Go away. You can see a number of things going on over here. This you're well acquainted with. That you're not. This is going to be very amusing, because I'm already showing some things. You're like, what's going on? Okay, so... Standard expectations, there's just nothing in this book. Symbols that didn't make it. So let's I've got a lot of things to run through, so I guess we'll just kind of start going. First, Mystcraft tab, stuff, blank page. Mystcraft tab full of pages. These are symbols. The symbol system is moving from learning in the sense of, okay, you write an age and you copy the symbols in the book into your notebook. That's gone away. The notebook as you know it is gone.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yes, we're going to have something completely different instead. Okay, oops.
We don't like change.
This window is a little too small, or the GUI is too wide for this. Hello. So these are the new symbols. This is the new symbol rendering system. Symbols are actually on pages. They're rendered to pages, and the items, or the pages themselves are items. So there's a lot of GUI things going on here, and I'm not really sure where to start from stuff. Of course. So I can actually move things to, from, I can sort this, whatnot. Okay, so in my inventory I have a bunch of pages. These are the symbols. I have some notebooks. These are notebooks. Basically what the notebook is now is a folder. Stores items. That was a right click, brings up an inventory. So it's just making the GUI smaller. I can probably do that. Where is that GUI scale? Wow! Okay. So now you can't read the symbols anymore, but at least we'll be able to see all of this. Let's actually make that a little bigger. Maybe. That may be too large because that looks about... Nope. Hey. Fits. Great. Okay, so... Go way back. Alrighty. If either of the people in TeamSpeak with me have questions, then please ask, because you're supposed to be my eyes for the stream here. Because you haven't seen this either. And you could probably ask very intelligent questions.
Part of it is that I'm slightly overwhelmed by it at the moment, but the other part of it also is that I'm trying to do administrative stuff with my server as I prepare for my own live
Okay.
stream.
That's fine.
Don't worry, I'll bug you with them.
Alrighty, good. Okay, so basically symbols have moved to pages. The pages are items, they're one-time use, you will bind them into books. You can actually copy to from pages. Let's see here, I've got a slot here for paper. And right-click is the interaction to write at the moment, so let's create a force till symbol. There we go. I used a paper, and I made a page. You can also write straight to paper there. If this is a large stack, I can't actually write. It's like this. There we go. I wrote to that paper. We have a lot of things. This is the modifiers set. And of course, over here you see I've got 4 notebooks. So you can actually have multiple notebooks, select what's in the notebook. This is a scroll system, and you can drop...
Corge asks, does that mean you don't need to travel to 100 ages to find all the symbols you want?
You will need to travel 2 ages in some cases, or you will need to travel to ages to learn symbols, but you won't have to generate 200 ages just to learn all the symbols. Because you will find symbols on pages. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was about to say, so you'll have to explore a Mystcraft age in order to find symbols?
Right. You will have to do exploration now to find symbols. You will find pages. You will find books on lecterns that are already generated. You will find notebooks containing things. Here's an instance of a page on a lectern. Here's a map on a lectern. Pages in the item thingy. Pages in the world.
So pages will randomly spawn all over the world, like in caves and stuff?
Not necessarily in caves, but perhaps in chests, mostly in dungeons and structures and things.
Oh, I thought it'd be cool to walk in and have like a whole bunch of symbols written on the cave.
That's actually not a bad idea. We might look at that.
Yeah, like all the Egyptian stuff.
I'm going to try and get rid of some of the symbols in my inventory here.
Do you know the count of how many symbols there are?
I have an approximate count, 103.
Ah.
That sounds a little bit more exact than an approximate.
Well, it's an old count. Over 103. Not sure how many now. I know that number because that's when I went through and redid some of the symbol stuff and whatever. I have a lot of symbols to go through.
XCOM, you missed a really good little joke there. You should have just said over 9,000 and see a whole bunch of people in the stream go nuts.
Yeah, well, they might still now that you've done it.
Probably.
Let's see here. Somebody wants to know what it looks like when you hold a symbol. You can see it off to the side there. You can actually see the symbol on it. They're all over 9 by 9,000. That's actually really clever. So you can actually see the symbol on the side here. You can see what symbol is on the page. The items are all rendered based on the symbol on the page. They're dynamically rendered. You can have blank pages. There's one there. One here. These are alphabetized. You can find every symbol in Mystcraft. The symbols are going towards a one-time use thing. So here's this really ugly green block. Let's use this. Alright, so this is a scroll system as well. This is the binding table as it stands at the moment. These don't actually do anything over here. Well, this one does. This one doesn't do anything. Okay, so yeah, this is a work in progress. But let's see here. I guess this block needs a texture before I stick it on Forgecraft, or everybody's going to complain. But maybe I'll get unorthodox to get onto that. So let's write an age.
Hey, XComp, real quick, you want to time out Sonny X?
Do I what?
Want to time out Sonny X?
Oh yeah,
Just by default.
yeah. Alright, so I think this is actually... No?
Heffington asks, what about extra biomes XL and metallurgy symbols for ores and biomes?
What about them? They aren't in my symbol count.
I was about to say, he was asking if you're going to add them.
Well, there are external mod capability. The API exists, and I don't know if metallurgy already had symbols. It might. I know COG does. EBXL does not add symbols, but it registers biomes in such a way that Mystcraft can pick them up and generate the symbols for them. And Scott and I have worked with, Scott figured out how to make that work. And he also still wants to add symbols, he just hasn't had the chance to yet.
Sliver, nobody cares about you. Go get your dinner.
What was that?
I'm just talking to Final Sliver. He's a buddy of mine.
Okay. And I'm sorry if I miss anything as it goes by in the chat. I'm not able to watch the chat very closely as I'm doing this, especially since I'm trying to explain things as it kind of hits you all at once. These are a lot of changes. The very core of things changed. Previously, books had symbols in them, and we still have that same render. But now books actually contain pages. These are actually on different pages. They're just, I don't have the render system set up for it yet. Alright. So let's see here. We were going to try and write a book using the printing thing. First, we'll do this way. I've got some books in here. I'm just going to write straight to this book. This is kind of a stand-in system for the writing as you're used to. So I want to make... We sorted this. I need to move these around. So the biomes... Single biome, normal moon, normal stars, no weather. And zero length goes to the normal sun. Glowstone crystals. I actually don't want a cave. Do I have a standard terrain on me? Nope. Alright.
Side guy, Ryan asks, if they are or will be one-time use, will that not make it even ever more difficult to get new symbols to create new worlds?
They are one-time use in terms of if you've bound them, but you can copy them, as I already demonstrated. If you do like this, let's figure out which notebook has stuff in it. So this one, general notebook, somewhere in here should be standard terrain. Let's find it. We can actually just sort, and now they're in alphabetical order. Standard lighting, standard lighting, standard lighting, standard terrain, right one of those. Pick up that, drop it in there. Let's go back over here. Here it went, there it is. So I want a standard terrain.
XComp, they're saying your background music's too loud.
Oh yes, sorry, I always forget about that. This is the dev environment, so it's kind of pops around and does funny things sometimes. There you go, that should be all better. Okay, so we'll go back to the light green block in a moment here. Right. And the existing, like the current render for the symbols will actually change. This is the style, but the actual circles will change because those are words. They have meaning. You can see that a lot of them are related. all the biomes have the same top symbols. And the last one is different. I will define a bunch of these symbols. They will have words and meaning, and you'll actually be able to read them. But for the moment, they're just generated, because that was easier to do in terms of time constraints. Alright, so the other things I want, there should be modifiers here somewhere. No? Okay, well let's search through this list. Oops. Go. And we're looking for lava. Lakes, large lava. There we go. And we also want netherrack. So netherrack. Okay. Here. So let's put our
Oh,
book
that's
back.
something I wondered about. You know when you open a book, the black symbol, the big black box.
The pane on the right.
Image of the world in there. The pane on the right.
At some point,
You're going to be putting that
yes, this will render a live image of the world.
Nice.
At some point.
Glad I stuck around here much. But it is time for my live stream as well. I'm going to go take a tour of my city. So I'm going on mute for now so I can talk to my server people.
Okie dokie. Thank you for joining.
Oh yeah, feel free to use this room, and I'll probably pop in here and there as well.
Okay, thanks.
Have fun.
Alright, so let's see here. Oops, I appear to have written something to that book. I didn't mean to. It's now got Mushroom Island as a biome. We could just keep it for the moment. Okay, so instead of ocean, it's going to be mushroom biomes. I'll just kind of scroll down here and put that there. And note that kind of stops. You can only scroll so far. Okay. Somebody's asking about what will happen to old worlds and notebook, and I will explain that in just a moment. Let me try and get through this. Okay, so Mushroom Island, single biome. What did I do with... Okay, yeah. This may actually work really well. Single biome...
Someone asks...
Zero length of sun. Someone asks...
Side guy Ryan asks... So if you have to find a symbol to create a world, then does that mean we need to find at least one to create an age?
Perhaps. I haven't decided entirely if you will have to have at least one symbol in the book in order to link. I don't know. But we'll see. At the moment, you have to have at least one symbol in order to turn it into a descriptive book. So. Okay. The question marks are words I haven't defined. In fact, they're not even that. They're undefined words. They're not words. They are null. It literally provides a null in the list of words. Okay, so where were we? We did done all this, I think, at this point. And now we need to decide, let's do this way. Okay, the lectern. Let's put the lectern down. There, book there, and fire in the hold.
Cord says, XCOM, you're a crazy genius. You know that? Do you?
No, thank you.
know that?
I'm vaguely aware. Yeah. Okay.
Ego.
Who saw what I did? And who can tell me what's going on? I don't know why it's not loading these. Why do I have to fly over it to make you load? It's just a render issue, I know. Let's do this way.
Do you want to know why? Minecraft 1.4.5. Because they've changed it.
There we go. No, it's not two biomes. There's only one biome here.
Lava lakes. Is lava lakes a symbol now?
Well, lava lakes were a symbol, but this isn't a lake.
Oh, lava.
This is the ocean of the world. It's lava.
That's
I
awesome.
specified lava, which says lava fluid. It sets a modifier value of fluid, lava. This was a lake. And that means it generated all the seas as lava. So this is on approach to generating the nether. So let's actually do that. Let's go back over here, look at this general book again. Look at my ocean. It's up there. Instead of standard terrain, we're going to grab the cave, wherever I put caves. There it is. A book. Just one. And now we go. Netherrack, lava, cave world. 0 length, normal sun, not that I'll be able to see it. Glowstone crystals, standard lighting, ocean, single biome, no weather, normal moon, stars.
Hey, it would be easy to get around the world bombastic. There is a mod that adds a stone boat that lets you go on lava.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so one
saying.
more. And you never quite realize how dark the nether is until you create a world just like it without the light. And I'm going to force my render to update again. Alrighty, there's some glowstone crystals. Some around here should be the lava. This looks an awful like a lot like the nether. I did in fact already do that, ACM. There we go.
Do you know Daydrug?
Sorry?
There's some, you know a guy called Daydrug?
I do.
He's up in one of the rooms. He's asking if you can drag him in.
I don't know if I can. And it's squeaking. Stupid bats. Nope, I can't do that. Sorry, Daydrug. Okay. The software I'm using for recording is XSplit. Actually does fairly well, but there is an update to it that I didn't download because I didn't know how long it would take. So, gasless nether. Yeah, there's no ghasts here. In fact, there's no mobs here at all because this is ocean. Also, I'm probably on peaceful. Overworld mobs and a dark nether. Yes. And if you put a bright symbol there, it will replicate the nether almost exactly. You are correct. That's a zombie! And if you use the hell biome, you'll get the right mobs. Zombie villager. I'll just float over the lava here. I'm turning my brightness. Options. Brightness, bright! Now you can see things.
That's a good question. Guy Ryan asks, will there be ways of finding the symbols other than maybe a rare drop from mobs with villagers, etc., and any ways to create them from existing symbols?
Well, you can copy them from existing symbols in the writing table. You can... I have discussed creating a librarian villager that trades Myst-related items. And I have intended to make another fortress symbol, and in fact we may do that on stream. That would be fun. Okay. Could this be done for non-vanilla liquids like oil? No comment. I will actually answer that. Yes. And I went to great lengths to make it possible. I wrote a chunk generator, or actually not a chunk generator, a chunk constructor class. Let's see if I can explain this without explaining how all of generation works. Basically, inside Minecraft, when you first create the world, you build an array that stores all the blocks. And you store it, and there was a particular order for all the, for the block IDs. I created a version that had a different order for the block IDs, so it allowed me to have any level height. So I can actually generate above 127, and it allowed me to have block IDs above 255, so I can generate blocks with higher IDs. So I can actually create oil oceans. I can... basically, at this point, I can do anything. So, yes.
I wouldn't say you could do anything on stream. You get a whole bunch of crazy requests.
This is true, but I already get a lot of crazy requests because most people already kind of think I can do everything, so... Those things are hard to kill. Okay. I get this question a lot. Is it possible to import existing worlds that we've created into Mystcraft Ages so we can keep all of our buildings and with us versions continue to move forward? Okay, so that was actually a couple different questions combined. One, is it possible to take an existing overworld and make it a Mystcraft Age? The answer is yes. You can basically just dump that generation or the chunk data, whatever, from the overworld into an age in the file structure, whatever. And there we go. This is the symbols for this book, people are asking. And sorry, I lost my train of thought. So you can dump that in there, and you can create an age data file that has the right symbols and uses the same seed, whatever. So you can actually generate that overworld again using Mystcraft generation. I keep meaning to write a script that will basically just do this for you, because explaining how to do it is kind of tricky, especially to people that don't necessarily know how this works. So I do want to create that script so it's just easy for people to export their overworlds into Mystcraft Ages, and just drop them wherever they want.
Creepers in the nether. Oh no.
Creepers in the nether! That's going to be fun. Yep. Very fun. No, there's not really a way to specify the seed of a Mystcraft age. Well, there kind of is from editing NVT data, but you can't do it in-game. Presently, nether fortresses do not generate. There won't be a nether fortress in here. But we'll fix that in a little bit. In fact, I think I'll probably do that on stream. Because I pretty much know how to do that offhand. At least I think I do. I hope I do.
Well,
Alright.
It doesn't matter how well you do it, right? You screwed it up to begin with.
Yeah. Okay, so you've already seen this. Got pages. Let's see if I can explain this interface a little bit better. We've got, that's kind of an extra slot. It's auxiliary pages. So I can write to here fairly easily. I'm going to create let's just pull out of here. A jungle, ice plains. So you can copy symbols once you get them in the first place. And you get symbols in the first place by exploring and finding them and whatnot. Okay, so this one's interesting, and I'm actually going to grab... Remember what's in this notebook? Pull that out. Look in here. This is the inventory for the notebook. I'm going to reorder them. Nether rack. Ocean. Normal stars. Normal sun. Standard lighting. No weather. Cave world. Yep. Zero length goes to the sun. Single biome. I put that after the ocean just because it doesn't actually matter. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to do this. You can actually open up the notebook, try to pick it up, it drops out. So you can't try and stick the notebook in the notebook. And you can't stick other things in the notebook either, just to point that out. Okay, so these are in order now. I'm going to look in here, and you can drop pages in. And see, this is the output slot. Hello, Scott. Welcome. If you want to join me on TeamSpeak, I can move to a different room. We can have a place where we can just do whatever. Like, you can join us on TeamSpeak. Okay, so this is the system. I'm going to drop these in here. You can absolutely drop them in funny places. Insert in the middle. Up, drop. It's nice. And you can sort, or you can scroll. You can actually do this left and right arrow keys. Okay, Scott. Alrighty. So let's see here. Let's pull these out and show one more nice feature. This is the notebook we just sorted. There we go. No weather, standard lighting, normal moon, stars, zero length normal sun, lava, nether rack cave world, ocean, single biome, glowstone crystals. Same order.
Someone asked, if you make a world that has dense ores symbol, and then add 10 different charge symbols, will this not make it be an unstable world? Because charge makes it more stable.
Charge makes it more stable to a point. There, you can only add so many charge symbols before the effect just stops happening. So it won't add more stability past a certain point. Let's see here. I don't remember what that number is anymore. I don't remember what the max number was. But I'm fairly certain that the world will still be unstable. It just won't be quite as unstable. Though it may still be unstable enough to have dangerous mechanics or destructive mechanics.
A question that's popping up a lot is, will you be able to make it so, or are you going to make it so that you can choose which type of mob spawns in that age?
I do have plans for that. This is the scroll we're looking at. I do have plans for handling spawning mechanics and whatnot in symbol logic, but I haven't done that system yet. I originally had a system for it, but it didn't work well enough for it, so I removed it, and I haven't gone back to fix it yet.
XComp, it would be really cool if you added an age that has the world from the actual Myst game. It would be like a special world or something. I have never played that game.
Veilvis actually it has been working on rebuilding the ages from Myst, the games and whatever, and if he manages to do that, he wants to be able to put those in and have it so that you can find those books in places as loot. And that is actually a possibility the way I'm designing the system. So.
Also, someone's asking if you can change the world type.
Change the world type. In what sense?
Height.
Height! Oh! Well, at this point, I can generate past height, 127 for height? I can generate all the way up to the max height of the world.
They're asking if you can change the max height of the world.
Not without some Forge edits, but I do know how to do that, so I could. Alrighty, so what do I show next? Well, we've got this in here. It's going to create an exact, or not quite an exact duplicate thing we just made, but it's very, very similar. So maybe if we did something a little different. Let's see. We made this a cave world here. I should have a standard terrain in my inventory. Standard terrain. We're also going to change the biome. So where was ocean? There it is, ocean. So I should also have a hell in here. There we go.
Apparently, new extra biomes will use XComp's code to do full height generation. Scott Killen said that.
Yeah, I think he's probably referring to, or he might be referring. Well, basically, he has to be referring to using the API, doesn't he? He's probably not referring to using the chunk constructor because I don't think he does anything with that. But that should be fun. I'm very much looking forward to whatever you do with that, Scott. That'll be very exciting.
Is Scott someone important?
Scott does extra biomes.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I didn't know that.
You use the new chunk constructor. That says more to me than I think it says to most people. Ah, this sword is enchanted.
That sounded awfully Scottish.
I do interesting weird accents at random, so it might have been.
You can't beat my Scottish accent.
No, I can't.
Don't even have to try.
Yep. So, Netherworld. I think I heard a ghast somewhere, but I don't see a ghast anywhere. Maybe it has to be dark, and the sun is frozen here, so it won't be. Yeah, I know I heard a ghast that time. Nobody sees it. Where is it? Where is it? Alrighty. Might be in a cave somewhere. I didn't write in caves, but... Here. No, there's no caves. Strange. Not sure where that came from. But yeah, basically, Netherland. Haha. Sorry, I didn't get that pun until I said it.
I'm gonna head desk.
There's a ghast. They're actually everywhere up here. Okay. Let's see if I can get myself killed. I already generated a cave world with the nether properties and whatnot. This is an example. You can do the same thing with standard terrain.
FYI, you know that you're in Korea, you can't die.
Sorry, what was that, Shadow?
You said you didn't see if you can get yourself killed, that you're in creative mode.
Yeah, I put myself back into creative mode, so I couldn't die. Thanks, Scott.
That's cheating.
Alrighty. Okay.
The hell? Metro Seal? This is the Mystcraft mod.
Yep. Good job.
He says this is, yeah, this definitely reminds me of the Mystcraft.
He was actually joking about somebody else from previous was making some comments. This looks like the Mystcraft add-on. He's probably referring to, I think it was Solid added an add-on to do this in the meantime while the system was happening, whatever. I already had this working, but he went and he made an add-on to do it while you don't have access to it. So that way you had it. Okay. So let's, having done this, you've already seen the modifier system if you looked at the previous stream. That was the introduction to the modifier system. This is the extension thereof. So what I've done is I've added extra blocks. We've actually got water, lava. Somebody just added if there was asked if there was an in-stone one. Well, if I can find it.
Of course he's using Eclipse.
Yes, I'm using Eclipse. Alright, somebody find in-stone. White stone.
Wait, that looks like notepad. Facepalm.
Yep, there we go. Shadow is on the stream with me. There we go. Okay, so now there is. There we go, in-stone. What else? You're right, there was not any soul sand in the Netherland I created.
Yeah, I also didn't notice any gravel, you know, with Minecraft's messed up way of generating the nether.
You're right. And the main reason for this is I don't have handlers for that just yet. I will at some point, but since I just introduced it, it's new. It only handles basic generation with stone and whatnot.
They're just ores.
So actually normal ores won't generate in those worlds, which I don't think. They might. They might try. If they don't check for stone, then they will. But alright, so we've done that. Let's go do something else. Somebody was asking about nether fortresses. Veo, I'm sure Veo wishes he was here. Welcome back, Held. Let's look at strongholds. We're going to copy functionality from this symbol and use it to do the generation of nether fortresses. So let's go to chunk provider here, this one. Okay, let's actually just look down here where they do structures. Just called another bridge in here. Alright, it uses the old name. It used to be just bridges. For the most part, it still kind of just is. Okay, so this is... I'm going to go through here. We're going to have to copy this.
What was a bridge since you have to dig, you know.
You're kind of breaking up there, Shadow. I don't know if it's my connection is a bit is maxed or what. Let's see here. I'm going to look at something real quick. No, it shouldn't be my connection.
Alright, give me a sec. Let me check it out.
Okay. Sorry for that, folks. Okay. Let's see here. Would the Nether Fortress symbol spawn wither skeletons? Maybe. Let's find out. So I'm going to copy this symbol and I'm going to put it as Nether Fort. Did I spell Nether right? Doesn't matter, I guess, at the moment. Okay. Copy. Paste. Rename. And my display name. So this is going to be a very simple fortress. Or, it's not a fortress, symbol. Confusing myself by speaking and writing at the same time.
This any better?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Somebody's saying something in chat here. Hello, Kojak.
Are there any materials besides leather we can use in the book writing station?
Not yet, but I do intend to have lots of bindings. And basically, this is the most simple form of crafting. This is crafting at its most basic level for Mystcraft. I will have all sorts of things for paper qualities, binding qualities, all sorts of things. So I'm not nearly done with it, but at least the basic system's there.
Was Mystcraft open source?
No.
That was another question, not me.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. Okay.
Also, hey, what's up, Bloombo?
So we're going to use this instead of the stronghold here.
Good question. If it's not open source, why do you let us see your source code?
Because I don't imagine you're going to be able to recreate all of Mystcraft from the bits I show you.
To be fair, you can easily convert any mod into the source code.
I've actually
Like
said that I allow decompiling of Mystcraft. I don't make Mystcraft open source because I don't want to just hand it out to everybody because I don't want to support that in some ways. But you could decompile it, and that's fine. You're allowed to decompile it to learn from it. You're not allowed to distribute the source code or anything like that. But
Yeah. And decompiling it takes like what, 20 seconds?
yeah. Sound Logic presented an idea of compound pages. Basically, you can take several pages and stick them together and treat them as one item. And that's not a bad idea, but it's kind of close to the same as a notebook. So
Super
we'll
glue.
so we'll see what all I do.
Just don't get them stuck to your hands like Family Guy.
Huh.
Stewie and Brian stuck together with super glue.
All right.
Not a Family Guy fan, XCOM?
No, I'm not. Never
You
actually
suck,
watched it.
man.
Thank you. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know if it actually tries to locate it in time. Find closest structure. Nope. So you don't actually have to worry about that, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. This way, it's actually possible to locate the bridges generated by Mystcraft. The fortress generated by Mystcraft. That won't be used by anybody, but let's go ahead and make it the long name, Nether Fortress. Okay. So, who thinks I'm done? There we go. We're not entirely to new symbol learning yet. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and specify this is we no longer have learning. Learning is gone. It's been replaced by collection. You collect pages now. Mystcraft could not generate nether fortresses until about a few minutes ago. Alright. So let's pull up that world. Or pull up the world. And generate a world with these. From where do you collect these pages? You will collect these pages in various structures. Things like, not necessarily, strongholds and fortresses and whatnot. So basically you go around exploring and you will find these pages in places. The pages can be used up. Held is right. The moment you collect the pages from the creative menu. But oops, that's wrong. So when it's actually in, you will just explore to find this. All right. So hopefully we're able to generate nether fortresses now. We'll try that. Should have a book somewhere. Did I put it somewhere? Okay. Yeah, I've made this difficult now. Okay. So yeah, no more generating ages to get symbols. Well, not in the direct linear manner. You wouldn't just generate a world and then pull the symbols out of the book. And in fact, at some point, auto-generated symbols will be invisible. You will not be able to see them in the book. I don't know how the Nether Fortress generation works, so we're going to see if it's possible to generate other ages. And in fact, that should be an interesting test. So let's do that. Go ahead and dump the chest here. There we go. That's better. Let's drop this in there. Oh, if anybody's, people have probably noticed that notebooks can have names. There we go. Okay, do some kind of pages stack, or are they not stacked because I see a lot of pages right there? Pages don't stack. They're complex things. But you can stick them in notebooks, and the notebook is easy to open. You just right-click and you pull up the inventory. I don't have any pages on me at the moment, so let's pull this back out.
You should totally add Stonehenge.
I might. At this point, I'm going to be able to do a lot of things. So.
Yeah, with the ancient rooms with symbols on them.
Pyramids, all sorts of things. I've got a bunch of stuff to do.
I only suggested it because it's in Scotland.
All right, so let's try writing out this. We're going to need that new symbol. So somewhere, LM in, there we go, Nether Fortress. I'm going to drop that in here, and then right. So now there's Nether Fortresses in this age. Okay.
Great Wall of China, Minecraft, Mystcraft style.
There will also be a research system. I haven't gotten there yet. But there will be a research system for getting symbols. Exploration won't be the only way to get symbols. But we haven't got to the research system yet, so I'm not going to bother with that too much right now.
Okay, I'll just get Leonardo da Vinci to help, from Assassin's Creed.
Sounds good.
Seems to be able to decipher pages well.
Alright, so let's see here.
Research like in Thumbcraft 3.
Maybe. I haven't decided exactly. Standard terrain. So this is going to be interesting already. Biomes. Let's make it a desert, because I like deserts.
You would.
Somewhere there's going to be a single biome. But apparently not in here. Nope, not in here. So I have to go back out here.
Someone asks, will it be possible to change the material of the Nether Fortress?
Probably not, but we'll see what all happens.
Yeah, Nether Fortress made of diamond blocks. OP much?
The notebook needs a search feature. You're right. I very much agree. I just haven't done that yet because it takes some time and it's a bit of a complicated system.
You said you could do anything.
I didn't say it was possible. I just said it's a bit complicated. It takes time.
I know, I'm just busting you. Busting your chops, Stephen. That's it.
Yeah.
PG way of saying it.
Okay, there we go. Will there be some sort of API to add your own symbols? There already is. It's just currently... yes, this is the new Mystcraft stuff. It's just currently fairly limited distribution. I've only... You basically have to sign up and say, oh, I want access to this, and you have to hang out with the people that are using the API, because it's currently under such modifications and it changes so rapidly, basically every few versions, that it's not something I would distribute very widely yet. Something that says it's in high flux.
Gravity. be able to change gravity, there's a question.
Can you change gravity? Maybe? I haven't played with that in quite a while. Okay, so from that, now we need standard lighting. Let's go with no weather.
XCOM, a while ago you had discussed briefly the ability to modify existing worlds to change runes. Has this been implemented yet, or are you still working on it?
I have not yet added in rewriting, I'm afraid. So, no, it's not possible to modify existing worlds.
So if the Nether Fortress works out, would it be spawnable in a Void Age to make a massive generation of Sky Fortresses?
I guess. Seems likely, yeah. Okay, it doesn't seem there's a no weather in here. Let's just go with overcast. I saw that in here. Sounds good.
We fixed the bug where people can't join Gen Solar worlds.
I think so. Problem is nobody of the testing team has been able to reproduce that bug, so it's difficult to say whether or not I have.
Will there be an option to change the symbols into just normal text for easier searching? Like maybe if you successfully found a symbol, the symbol changes to normal text.
No, the symbols are going to look like this. We may have, like, you may get text down here at the bottom. It may say this is this symbol instead of having to mouse over it all the time to read it. But no, this is the render. Basically, I pulled all these symbols out of here at one point. Let's find normal moon, normal stars, normal sun.
It's a beautiful morning.
I could have just added dark stars. There appears to be a bug where you can wind up clicking through. Be careful of that. There. Fix that bit. So I need to go put zero length back in. Zero length. Zero. Normal sun. Normal moon. Normal stars. Set another moon. Okay, so what have we got? We've got celestial, we've got weather, we've got biomes, we've got lighting. I think that's everything. And terrain. Celestial, weather, biomes, terrain, lighting. That's everything. And then everything else is just kind of filler and fun stuff. So!
I don't know if this is to you. Sound Logic asks, are you going to fix your ridiculous zero period behavior, please? I have no idea who that's to.
Sound Logic asked what, where?
I guess someone's been a noob in the chat, although I can't see what. I'm guessing it's someone else, because I doubt he's talking
Oh,
to
Sound Logic's complaining about the zero period stuff. Maybe.
Ah, right.
Generating desert. Alright. Do I think I'll be able to release this month? Maybe.
Before Christmas?
I don't know.
Christmas present, huh?
Hey, that'd be good. I'm hoping to get it up on Forgecraft very soon, so you can watch Dyer play with it if you can play the most.
Also, no, A observer, what's with you clicking and dragging around symbols on the little black line? What is that for?
Here we go, folks. Clicking and dragging things around in what environment?
I don't know. That looks cool.
Creeper! Nether wart. That's good. Alright, this looks good. Worked just fine. It actually fit in really well on this world. Somebody's asking if there's blaze spawners. I'm trying to find one. I'm doing this very low.
Someone's asking, are we looking at 1.5?
I do not know when the newer, or when the next release of Mystcraft will be. Spider, bat, all sorts of mobs down here. There's a lot of mobs down here. Wall.
Someone
I'm not
says,
seeing any wither skeletons, and I'm not seeing any blaze spawners.
Someone says, quit griefing the mobs, XCOM.
Oh, I got turned around. Uh-oh. I'm lost down here. Okay. Small pool of lava. There's more fortress over here. There's in fact a lot of fortress around here. Oh, oh! You see what I see? But it's not spawning. Oh! There we go. Blazes! Should make them blue. So there you go. Blazes! In worlds! Alright, looks good. I'm gonna slowly take over here. And there's something over here. Interesting. That's more interesting. That was entertaining. Just stick around. Bunch of these now. Right, I forgot you can fly. Got you. Pull out a diamond sword. Okay.
Are you gonna swing your short sword?
Alrighty. Well, we're doing good here. Alright, we've got another fortresses. Veovis is going to be so pleased. Alright, folks, what's next? Alright, so have I demonstrated now everything I wanted to demonstrate in terms of the mechanics? We've got this system, we can name, pull out a book, this slot needs to go away. Pages, we noticed one bug there, so I'm going to write that down. Ender Dragon and Mist Worlds. That's going to take more recoding than you might expect. The Ender Dragon, last I looked, had some really weird problems. So he's not going to work well. He barely works well in the end. Just so. Well, there is an end symbol now, so let's find it. End stone. End does not mean the ender, I'm afraid. End means period over. So let's go with end stone here. We'll pull out a book, start writing to it. Sky is the name of the biome for the ends.
Hey, worry is not a cabbage. Please change your text color.
In generation, we can try that too. Let's play. So let's see here. Single biome, normal sun, normal moon, stars. I'm having a problem with overlap there. I'm going to use plains as the biome, because I like that one too. But it's also not going to matter. Have I done terrain yet? I hope not. No. Good. Okay. All the color gradients work. Yes. Thanks, Laws Dude. You too. Okay, so still writing. Let's put this in modifiers because that's what it is. And I've probably got some other things in here as well. So let's find. Did I put lava in here by accident? So endstone is a modifier. We've already written it in. And what it does is it sets a material value. So we set the end block as the material. And then when we write in standard terrain, down here somewhere, standard terrain, pardon me, then standard terrain will pop that modifier and use that as its solid. So it will now
With all
generate.
due respect, please die quietly.
Yeah, really. Okay, so single, normal. Alright, so we've got biomes, I think. Did I actually put in? Yeah, single biome. So biomes, celestial, and the weather. We used overcast. I actually want no weather this time. In here, oh, that's it. That's it. Right, there's no weather. Are these symbols from the original Myst? Not quite. The actual render here is based off of the Narayan poetry from Exile, so Myst 3. There weren't symbols in the first Myst particularly. There were some, and there were Deni numbers, and there were like some just like hieroglyphic kind of things, but they weren't related. Okay, so Let's see. Well, we're not quite done. We've got single biome. So we've got biomes, celestial, weather. We don't actually. We have terrain. We're missing something. Lighting. So somewhere down here, standard lighting. Let's see what this does. Should work fine. But I'm not entirely sure. There you go. And you can already auto-sort the notebook, at least in terms of on that scroll bar thing. If you middle-click at the moment, and I will add a button as well, it sorts that. Alright, these poor sheep are going to be really confused and hungry. Okay. Looking good. Need more Endermen. Yep. One possibility is if I'd written this age the other way around. What happens if you add both netherrack and instone? That's a very good question. You'll get instability and you'll get whatever you wrote in last. Replacing a modifier, which is what would happen, you would wind up with a small amount of instability. Should be instone. Whole world's probably just instone, whole way through. Yes, and that's Held points out you have the clear modifier symbol. Would Greg Tech Ender Ore spawn in this age? Maybe. Depends on how he does it.
iTunes saying that he needs to talk to you.
Okay. On me.
But he can't get in this room because more has to drive them in.
Yeah. Well, if you could find us an empty room to move into, you can do that. Thank you, Sinister.
There's Hammer and Novatera too in this room.
What was that, Shadow?
There's Hammer that's in.
You were moved.
I've been moved. I get moved too.
I don't know, I'm looking.
Like,
Hi!
Oh, hey.
yeah, I'm sorry to pull you out like this.
That's fine. I am streaming, so just so you're aware.
Yeah, I know. I was watching your stream. That's why, I heard Shadow. I heard you say if you could find an empty room.
Alright, we're here.
Oh, okay, excellent.
And hey, Daedro's here. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Nice to see you're modding strong.
Yeah, still around. What did you need, Aichun?
So I was, having some problems with how do I say this? When you enter an unloaded chunk, you get teleported to an unloaded chunk. I'm trying to keep the velocity of the entity, but not of the player actually. If I teleport the player to an unloaded chunk, doesn't seem to maintain his velocity.
I'm not sure if velocity is saved, come to think of it.
No, it is on the same mode.
Okay, but I mean in terms of like saving a thing, whatever, it may lose velocity. I don't think it should though.
Yeah, no, the thing is, if I teleport it within like maybe the same chunk or something, the velocity is capped. But if I try go into an unloaded chunk, it loses pretty much all its velocity.
Strange. I'm not sure. One thing suggest is making sure the chunk is loaded before you move the entity. It's what I do for my teleport mechanics.
No, you see, I'm teleporting the player.
Yeah, but I would still make sure to load the chunk before sending anything through the portal, just to make sure it's loaded.
Then how would you be doing that then?
I would first request the chunk. I just call the function for get chunk from the world. I could probably pull up the code. Hang on a sec. Mist link controller. I think this is it. Somewhere in here. There we go. It has to happen on the server side, but I just load the chunk, this line.
Okay.
This will load the chunk. It will unload if nothing is keeping it loaded after everything's said and done, but for the moment it will be loaded. One thing this does for me is it makes sure that the spawn point is generated when I move something across.
Okay.
But somebody's asking how to force load chunks in Forge, and I assume he's talking about chunk loading, which I actually don't know very much about, because I haven't done that. But does that answer your question, Aichun?
What was that?
Does that answer your question, Aichun? Or if you if you try loading that chunk using that line, whatever, then it should help.
I'm gonna try it now.
Okay. Alrighty, so let's see here. What else? What else? I've shown this. I've shown this. And I've shown that, at least in passing, if you pick something up, your modifiers, you just click on the tab, it goes here.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Back here. Switch those around. Where we go?
So I do have one small quality of life suggestion I might have.
Alrighty, what's that?
It might be interesting if you could actually just drop a notebook right into a binder and have it just bind the book with whatever symbols were in it.
Like that?
Okay.
You can!
Nice.
Alrighty. Yeah, basically Veo made the same comment when I was doing these things. It's like, it would be really nice if I just take a notebook and drop that in there. Okay. So I went and I did that. Okay.
I had something else ahead earlier, but I'm going to have to give me a minute to try to remember it.
That's fine. Alrighty, folks. So we've got item pages. You've seen them on the grounds. You've seen them in the inventory. They render live. I don't think anybody was as excited about that as I really expected them to be. I was excited about that.
I was pretty excited about it. They look pretty awesome.
Okay. Maps and lecterns. What's wrong with maps and lecterns? Oh, right. Held's complaining about something else. Yeah, on the testing server, that didn't work. I will fix it. We might even
Someone
fix
just had
that.
a pretty cool suggestion to make them take damage in water.
The pages?
Yeah.
I'd have to actually hook into the entity item at that point, and that's a little harder. I can try. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, XCOM, yeah, it's not working.
Not working?
Nah.
Um,
I don't know, I think this will be more client-side than server-side, because this is the player that we're talking about.
yeah, this is true. You can try force sending the chunk to the player. That might be interesting.
That might also be kind of dangerous.
Could be. Hmm. Bremen is right. Entity items do not have health. At least not in that sense. If they
They
take
do.
damage, they just die.
Yeah, they take damage, they die. That's pretty much it.
Alright, so let's see here.
Oh, I remember what it was.
Alright.
I actually noticed, I checked out the mod kind of recently, because I haven't been playing for a while, but you have the new table to, like, add all the extra stuff, like the following and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it might be kind of cool if you could somehow move that to the enchanting table.
Actually, no. That's a temporary block.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's just for debug. It's just so that people can play with the features, because they're in, they function fine, but there's no way to do that because crafting was missing. So,
Yeah.
it's a stand-in. Once all this works out, once I have different quality stuff, whatever, you'll actually be able to craft these properties, and this block will go away.
Okay.
Okay. Let's... Upthorn was suggesting that instead of, like, I could make it so that these are actually other entities and not entity items when you drop them. But I still want them to be entity items. I don't want to do anything else with that. It's fine. They don't need to be more advanced. Currently, the link modifier does cost all that, but again, it's going away, so... those properties probably will go into the bindings. I'm not sure. So let's see here. What are we doing now? We've seen this. We've seen this. We've seen some of the other stuff. What should I show you?
I think a slime just jumped into my portal while I was AFK.
Okay. Let's flip back to the code and see what symbols you haven't seen. It's basically just these. You can just specify lava seas, water seas. These are actually more general. They're material block, fluid block. You can specify blocks. That was in fact I should. We added nether fortresses. I'm not sure. I believe you've seen most of it. I want to try and explain some of what's happened to the internals because most of the time I spent doing things was on rewriting all the internal systems. Used to be books just had a series of symbols. Now it's a series of pages. We still have the old render mechanics here, but you'll actually flip through the book to see the different pages in the book. Will there be a way to stabilize an unstable world? With rewriting, yes. You should make a symbol for what kind of plot. Controlling spawning mechanics. I have planned interfaces for that. I have not implemented interfaces for that because at the very moment it's not very high priority. What else? There's not yet a forge hook, so you can make a sea of milk. Not quite. They're working on a liquids dictionary. It's in Forge, but it's not quite done yet. But once that's done, I will be able to set it up so you can make seas of liquid. Pick a liquid. Oil, milk, honey. Seas of blood comes up oddly often. You folks. But so it's like, I hear OP, and you ain't a kidding. But The land of milk and honey. Well, I'm afraid you only get one. You can have the land of milk, and then you can have the land of honey. But yeah, if anybody adds a liquid blood to the liquid API, then yeah, you'll be able to make liquid blood. I will actually probably add instability to certain Cs. For instance, if the C is particularly valuable block, then, or actually I'll probably make it so mods can specify how valuable that is, or whatever. Then that way the specifying that block would mean that it's unstable. Or adds instability. I'm not sure yet how I'll handle that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I would definitely say that a sea of fuel would definitely need some instability.
Yeah, just to kind of balance out. That's dense ores all over again, times like 20.
Have you thought about making some of the more valuable pages like full-time one use? You can't even copy it?
No, I haven't thought about that actually, and I don't think I will do that. Most because the value of symbols is already balanced in terms of instability. So.
Understandable.
Okay. Second. So let's see here. What are we going to do next? Can we get multiple legs of different materials now? Kinda? I suppose we could try that. Let's go do that. Okay. So, symbol, let's pull up those two symbols. There's this, and this isn't particularly different. They're a little different. Why? So Lava Lakes uses the controller for something. It actually gets sea level, right? Because the Lava Lakes want to do different things below sea level. Yeah, lava lakes have a larger chance to spawn underground. If they were exactly the same, I probably would have already generalized it. Well, the easy method is just to remove this specification, but unfortunately, this doesn't handle. This doesn't handle metadata, and that would be necessary in order to have the right things. So, subterranean lakes isn't a bad idea. We can rename this to subterranean lakes. And we can rename this to just general lakes. And then allowing it to handle specified blocks. But it means I'll have to create my own version of this that handles metadata, which isn't really that big a deal. Oh my goodness. If material is lava, do something. If material is water, do something. That is a lot of nested for loops. Wonderful hard coding. There's a lot of hard coding in Minecraft. There's an awful lot of it. All over the place. Did you know you can't drown in lava? Show the pyramids code! Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's see here. We'll come back to this. I'll write down something about lakes. Because that's not going to be something terribly easy to do. It's going to require redoing some of that. I'm annoyed by lava breathing, and you know what? I'm planning on fixing that. I'm going to make a forge PR at some point that allows me to do all sorts of things with breathing.
I have to say, by the way, in my return to Minecraft, that was the one big thing I noticed, was that you were in Forge now.
Yep, I'm in Forge now. And I've made a bunch of PRs in Forge at this point.
Yeah, I remember trying to post to you to try to convince you to go into Forge. I'm very happy to see it happen now.
Yep. And I've commented that I ran the full gamut for that. I went from, no, I don't want to be in Forge, to, well, I like Forge, I understand the ideas, but I can't do everything in Forge, to, well, maybe I can pull that off, to, I'll just write all my stuff so Forge can do it. Make PRs for Forge, and they pulled all that in, and Mystcraft works under Forge. I don't know if they'd have accepted me right off, though, because a lot of the stuff I was doing was pretty crazy. And it took a while before people understood what was going on.
Yeah, but they're pretty good about, if you need something, they'll give it to you.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is at most, Lex wants to understand what's going on. He made the comment, if you need it, you need it. You know, that's fine. But you know, what does this mean? So, all right. I guess I don't need those right now.
Hey XCOM, you can actually find out how to force send a client a chunk.
I know where to look. At least I did. Where is that? Let's see here. I think it may be involved in the player instance class. You send the chunk to the player.
So iTunes, how
Yeah,
you
that's what
doing,
I'm
buddy?
looking at now. I'm sick. But
You're
doing
sick?
alright, I guess. Yep.
Aw, poor baby.
Shit, I think I was supposed to take my bag 4 hours ago. Oops.
He says, sounding as patronizing as possible. Sorry, I'll be right back again.
Yeah. All right. So, what are we gonna do? I'd kind of like to do some simple things for you, but I didn't really have a list of things. Mostly I wanted to demonstrate the stuff and show you, okay, this is how things work now. This is what we've got. So you can see that. I can reveal that and go, ta-da, here we go. And then I can push this to Forgecraft, and you can watch Direwolf walk around going, I have no idea how this works anymore. He'll love a lot of it. I know he will, and I actually intend to explain a bunch of it to him. And he's actually really excited, and it's part of why I'm doing this now, that he was like, oh, I want to play with this, I want to play with this, I want to play with this. So, I have to do that for him. Alright, so... Right, that doesn't work the same way. That's not one of mine. You could turn it upside down and confuse people! Alright. Yeah, there's a discussion of hard coding going on in the chat, and basically hard coding is a bad thing because it means you're going to have harder times doing things. Would you be able to add rainbows? Able to? Yes. Sure how to do it? No. Let's see here. I can show you where to go. Let's see. Where are all those things? Around here. Let's base it off of... Right, I'm going to call them doodads. All right. So it'd be a doodad, which basically means, oops, implements I sky doodad. And the biggest thing is it's going to render something on the screen somewhere. As for that, I'm not sure how to actually like render a rainbow.
What symbol that rainbow?
Doodad.
Do that?
Doodad.
Do that. Why do that?
Doodads. It actually comes from, if you recall the original StarCraft map editor tool, like the original StarCraft, the map editor tool for it, it had things you could add to the terrain, whatever, and they were called doodads. That's one example. It's a fairly common term for basically things that look nice and add to the appearance of things, but don't actually do anything. So it's a doodad. Alright, so the descriptor word should be celestial objects. Maybe even doodad there. I'm not sure how to handle this. Alright. So let's see here. I'm not sure what that middle word should be. I think of just moving on. I'm going to make it a null. Alright. I'm not going to worry about modifiers. I'm going to change this name. Move this around. Modifiers from there. It probably needs modifiers in terms of placement, but it'll probably just take an angle. Not an angle, a north, south, east, west. So let's see here. How do you render how do you do that? I don't know.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thanks, honey.
Okay. Yeah, so it will need an angle. I can actually pull that back. We'll go ahead and grab that
But I crashed Minecraft.
angle. Yeah.
Hey, what
Yeah,
about a
guys,
double
Mike.
rainbow?
What about a what?
A double rainbow.
A double rainbow. I don't know.
There's maybe a pot of gold at the end.
And then down here.
There's an idea. I think I'm going to retexture my golems from Thaumcraft 3 to make them look like Santa's elves for this season. Are you in the
Okay.
festive mood, XCOM?
Fairly. It's not particularly festive here where I am just yet, but when I go back to the States, it'll be particularly festive, so I will be there.
Where are you at the moment? Oh, I'm not going to stalk you.
I'm in Finland, so basically
Oh, right, yeah.
it's not much festivities going on until I'm with my parents or family or whatever, so doesn't feel like the holidays when you're far away from home.
Yeah, the holiday bells are.
La, 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 la.
Yeah, Extreme XComp is a damn good singer.
Thank you.
Yeah, sing Jingle Bell Rock. Then I can
Uh,
get all Lethal Weapon nostalgic.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. I don't remember all the words to it anymore.
Jingle or Round Clock.
Why do you live in Finland? It's what? I study here. I work here. I live here.
That's kind of stupid.
Why did I move to Finland? Because I like it here. And the reasoning behind that is I've come here ever since, or I came here ever since I was 5 until I moved here. So, where in Finland? Helsinki. Where else?
Give me your address. I'll come stalk you. Lick your windows.
I would be really impressed to see him lick my windows. I live on the 5th floor.
I've got a very long ladder.
Not a long time. I'm disappointed.
I can abseil from the top.
Sorry?
I could abseil from the top of the building.
Could. Suppose you could get on top of it.
Oh, not too difficult.
I have a talking potato.
I like Vasa. Vasa is a very nice place. That was in response to something in chat.
Scotland's a nicer place.
Wrong.
We're so
Okay.
friendly.
What did this say?
Scotland, the friendliest place in the world.
Sure.
And I'm one of the nice Scots.
I did say Vasa.
So which part of the States did you used to stay in?
Georgia.
Ah. Delaware.
From the south.
Ah. The
Oh,
only
cool.
place, the only Georgian place I know is Delaware. That's it.
Hmm.
My geography sucks.
Yeah. I don't sound
I'm
southern
telling
at all. I know. I never particularly did. Even when I lived there all the time.
Y'all.
Y'all. Alright, so what all am I doing here?
Just like my mama always says, live like a box
Box
of
of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I don't speak very good Finnish. My Finnish is actually quite poor, despite living in the country for several years at this point.
Yeah. How difficult is Finnish to learn?
Depends on where you're coming from. One of the answers to that question is small children speak it all the time. But coming from English, it's one of the hardest languages to learn. It is ranked with Mandarin Chinese in terms of difficulty.
Wow. And
Mandarin
small children, huh?
Chinese.
They're never getting out with that van. My van.
And it's kind of like they speak it, but also Finns speak a lot of other languages. And the reason for that is nobody speaks Finnish, and they know nobody's going to speak Finnish.
Yeah.
So they
Like
speak
Welsh.
everything else. Also, there's only about 6 million people in the world that speak Finnish. So,
Yeah, it's like the Welsh.
我不明白.
Scots just keeps hitting them until they start speaking English.
uh,
Oh god,
do I speak
no.
Swedish? No, but I understand the substantial amount of Swedish. Swedish is very easy.
No hablo English.
Yo puedo hablar en español.
Oh god, why?
It was useful where I was from. Alright. Ooh, Spanish. Spanish is easy. Spanish is like one of the easiest languages in the world in terms of naturally
Yeah.
spoken languages.
I used to go to Spain on holiday every year, so I learned how to flirt with women, and if they want to come back to my room, and how to order a drink. That's all I ever needed.
There you go.
And yet I still managed to fail it in high school.
I took several years of it in high school to speak it.
Hey, my Spanish teacher was impressed by how much I flirted with her in Spanish.
I
Won't
like
tell you
this.
how
I like
got
this
an A.
comment in chat. I way, only way, X bay, Attenlay.
Pig Latin?
That was Pig Latin.
Yeah.
I guess that was my problem right there, was that my Spanish teacher was ugly.
No
I
practice
took one
for...
for the team to get an A.
Alright, so let's see here. What am I doing? We're adding rainbows, at least trying to. Alright, so we've got angle all set up here. We've got rainbow. We need to figure out how we're rendering a rainbow. The sun and the moon are actually just textures. So we could actually go that way. We can add in a texture that is the rainbow.
Oh, I was just being sarcastic, by the way.
I know,
It
but
flies across the sky.
flies across the sky currently doesn't move. It's stationary. I don't want it to move. That'd be weird.
Clouds move.
Clouds move, yeah, but rainbows don't move. Okay.
They move depending on your perspective.
Yeah, but...
Hey, Pahima.
Hey, Paimar! Hello! If you want to join us in TeamSpeak, you're welcome. That would be fun.
No, he's not welcome.
I
Palmer,
say as
We
well.
don't like it.
I'm streaming.
Yeah, me and Pam are like to well,
Yeah, I know.
Oh, he's at work.
That's fine.
I love
Just
you
come
too.
over and listen to us something. Yeah, I shouldn't be speaking. I have a sore throat.
Alright, so let's see here. We really could just add in a texture that is a rainbow. Who's up for that? So...
Palmer, you shouldn't be working. You should be coding EE.
Yeah, I gotta get this done before I gotta go to bed, which is like really soon. So I'm gonna be
All right.
heading off now.
Well, good night then. Sleep
Take
well.
it easy, Ajun. I'll miss you.
Alright, yeah. Have fun using my room.
Thanks. Alright, so let's go look at... what do we look at? We want to get the normal sky stuff and look at how that works. So where is the sun and the moon? Not really sure at the moment. There they are. So,
You learn where the sun and the moon are in nursery, dude.
I found the sun and the moon. Anybody else concerned?
A little.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the smart one.
I know! Alright, so we're gonna hit the wrong button. F2. Rainbow.png. Push the resources. Okay.
Okay, Sarah. Dude, I'm trying to set you off on a singing rant.
Ole ole kukulole, rakena mina mayani.
Sing the Scottish national anthem.
Tule tutunori. Where's my start bar? Down here, where it always is. Oops, down here. But you can only see the window. Alright. Let's... I didn't add that symbol. Alright, so let's see here.
Yes, Lightning bro. XComp can sing. Here he is singing Jingle Bells.
Yeah. You keep trying to get me to sing Jingle Bells.
I am.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. Alright, so... Where was I? We added... Actually, I did add the symbol, didn't I? I did add the symbol. Okay, so we're all set. In that case, I just need to add the symbol to a world!
Jingle bells, that man smells, Robin flew away.
Batmobile lost a wheel and Joker took ballet. Hey! Alright, so let's find Rainbow. There it is. Okay. Given that I'm not going to care too much about the rest of the world, let's put a rainbow in the east. This world is going to crash the game. That was good. Alright, so what happened? Oh, I didn't give it a name. Alright, well, I can fix that.
Slowpoke, Direwolf, XComp, and Elaram should sing the Bohemian Rhapsody song. I see a little silhouette of a man.
Scaramouche, Scaramouche, can you do the fandango?
The ball in my
Lightning very, very frightening me. Alright.
That hurt.
Okay, so... Do I have any plans to open source the mod? Nope. You guys have way too much fun. There's no such thing as having way too much fun. This is a silly
German?
concept. Alright, let's go back and do this.
Dark Thought, is that German?
Where did Dark Thought go?
Yep, it is.
Ah, there's the book! Okay, so... Let's look at it. It's East, Rainbow, go! I just threw it in the water.
Go Rainbow, I choose you.
Missing texture!